The whole entire floor of the mall got dead silent and turned around and looked behind me. So when they looked behind me, I'm thinking, I'm not looking behind me. I'm gonna look behind me and get shot in the face.
Shoot! Oh, they shooting in this house!
I said I've been around the world and all these girls, yeah, they seem the same thing. Turn it up. Say there's something about you, girl, that makes me really wanna know your name.
All right. What up, everybody? We're back again. It's Ill and Trish and Mia Rose, aka Rosebud. Hope everybody's doing good. Unfortunately, you can tell by the title, this video is not really a good video, but we have some things to say. Yesterday, we had a traumatic event. Basically, we witnessed a shooting. Well, sorta. We'll explain that. But
Sorta.
sorta. Like, we witnessed it, but we didn't actually turn around to see it, but it was right behind us.
We're not really laughing inside.
Yeah, so I guess we're just gonna tell the story, but before we do, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment below if you have anything to say, really good or bad, and of course share this with your friends and subscribe if you're just getting here for the first time. We appreciate it. Anyway, so yesterday was Black Friday, and we decided we wanted to go to the mall and pick up some things. Of course, it's Black Friday, why wouldn't we? So we had a big decision. Do we go to the mall, North Jersey? Jersey Gardens, the Mill, they call it now? The Mill.
The Mill at Jersey.
The Mill at Jersey Gardens, so they tried to bougie it up. Okay,
Oh.
but anyway,
Those of you who know.
everybody knows. It's Jersey Gardens Mall. It's basically in Elizabeth, New Jersey. So we finally get in the mall. We're excited. We're in there, and our main purpose is really to buy something for Mia Rose and Kaylin, I believe. That's what was
Yeah.
So that was
Nike.
we were trying to basically go get some Nike for the girls.
Right.
So we go in there, we get a few things, and well, we leave. We leave the store. We pick up a few items, a few gifts for people, and we decide to go to what, Marshalls. Marshalls. We get our stuff in Marshalls. The line, this is probably the longest line I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was actually longer than Nike. Surprisingly, I don't know how, but it was longer inside, and for some reason, like, okay, I guess this is the time where things started happening in place, because when we were in line, that Asian family left.
Right, actually, we skipped something. We skipped a very important part. While we were online in the Nike store paying for our stuff at the register,
Oh, there was a fight.
there was a fight
That
outside the
broke down.
Nike store.
Right,
There
and
was
it
a
was-
brawl, a small brawl. Well, somebody was getting jumped out there. There was five guys, one guy
against
getting
one.
trampled, basically.
Yeah.
And basically, that guy didn't have a good day. So I was kind of being nosy watching that, and then I kind of resumed and got online and resumed the purchases. Anyway, we're talking about the line in Marshalls, though.
Yeah. So it was like a really long line, but it felt like it was moving pretty fast. And then we get to this area where you could charge your phones. It's like complimentary phone charging, and it's kind of like a locker. And his phone was dying, and I was like, you should charge your phone. Put it in there while we're in line, and then when we get to the end, we'll just come back for it. And he just kept saying no. But that's like a key part,
Because I didn't want to charge my phone.
I guess.
Anyway, so
No, key part.
yeah, so mind you, this line is incredible. It's got to be at least
All the way to the
100 people
end
on
of
this
the
line
store.
at Marshalls trying to check out, at least. They had 15 or 16 registers. I forgot.
15
It was
open registers.
15 open registers,
All open.
and it was still 100 people online or more. I could be underestimating that, honestly.
Yeah. And like families were leaving the line because it was just too long.
Yeah, and I kept preaching for people to just give up.
Yeah.
I don't know if my preaching worked, but I saw at least one person walk off. Anyway, so anyway, we got our purchases there, and we're like, okay, let's get out of here. It's getting late. It was approaching, or just after 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
At this moment, we walk out the store. Rose is in a stroller, mind you, to give you the whole picture. Rose is in a stroller. We're pushing her through. We're just having general conversation. Trying to remember where the car was parked because we had a pretty long walk through the mall. And we get, back to around, say, the Nike store, which is probably one store away from Marshalls.
Yeah.
And
there's one store in between.
and this is where it gets crazy. So basically, this is from our perspective. Different people may recall it differently. Everybody was at a different place at a different time, and we happened to be very close to the actual situation, and that situation, if you haven't guessed it by now, was a shot rang off in the mall. When the shot rang off, from my perspective, I immediately thought like, oh my God, that's a gunshot. That sounds familiar. So the only thing out of my mouth that came out was, that sounds familiar. And as I'm saying that, it was kind of like I know she calls it a slow-mo. To me, it looked like the whole entire floor of the mall got dead silent and turned around and looked behind me. So when they looked behind me, I'm thinking, I'm not looking behind me. I'm gonna look behind me and get shot in the face. I know that's a gunshot, so I'm not gonna look behind me. So that's just number one in my head. And then I'm thinking, if I look behind me, am I gonna be covering Trish or the baby? Because I'm standing behind them. So basically, we were on the right side of the mall. You know the mall layouts. There's pretty much the same left side, right side, stuff in the middle. We were more to the right when this happened. We didn't turn around. We decided we're gonna walk. We're gonna move, obviously get out of there. So we started to basically make a move, and as soon as we went to make a move, a lady screamed to our left because apparently she saw something behind us. Maybe, I don't know.
No, the first lady screamed behind us.
It was, I couldn't even tell where it was.
The first lady screamed behind us, and it was like the minute she screamed, it was right after Stefan said, "That sounds familiar," and it was like everybody in sync moved and turned around, and like after those two things happened, everybody just ran for their lives. And it was like, oh my God, we're gonna be trampled. We're in the middle of the fucking mall. We're out in the open. And I don't know, I guess we were just trying to decide what to do from there, but there's no really time to decide.
Well, I mean, again, you pretty much said it from like same thing I saw. I looked up and I looked at Trish. I looked up. There was an Asian man standing like kind of close to us in my perspective, and he's standing there. He completely was silent, no noise. It was dead silence in the mall. He was turning around, looking behind me, and it was like everyone was frozen except for me and Trish at that moment. It was kind of interesting. And
I'm the only one on the floor.
Trish was the first person in the mall ducking, by the way.
That gunshot went off, I was ducking because I'm usually a jumpy person anyways, and I was like, whatever, if this isn't a gunshot, at least I ducked if it is. And everyone was just kind of standing there like, huh?
It's like everybody was waiting for another shot to go off. It was kind of interesting.
Yeah, to like process what was really going on.
So when the shot went off, you know, I just want to, I keep saying this to everyone around here. In perspective, I knew it was a gunshot from the rip because, well, it's a mall. It's thousands of people there. We read something earlier that it was 25,000 people in the mall, and at that day, that's insane. And
definitely believe it from the parking.
It was nuts. So imagine thousands of people in the mall walking, talking. Everybody's blah 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 blah. There's music playing, like and it went from all this talking to pop and dead silence in the mall. Like instantly.
Nobody made one noise and was just kind of like, what?
And which to me, when I heard the pop and it was that loud over everyone else, I knew that was a gunshot. We got to get out of there. So I was like, we got to go. So
yeah, and he's actually saying this out loud, and as he's saying, I'm ducked down with the stroller like this, and I'm like making a plan in my head as fast as possible, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make this right, like I was gonna turn my head to the right and look. I really don't want to see anyone on the floor and look, but I gotta see if there's a stampede coming towards us, because then I saw like the van store was right in front of us, and I was like, maybe we should go in the van store. And by the time I looked, I was like, we have like this much distance from this girl running towards us and the crowd, and probably the gunman.
I mean,
who knows?
I don't know where the gunman was, who he looks like.
Where he ran, we don't know any of that. But I don't know. Basically, you were thinking it.
Well, basically, everybody started running. It was chaos in the mall. Like, it was people running, diving, sliding to the kiosk in the middle. It was people running into stores. It was people running to exits. I seen an exit a little bit ways up, a couple stores up, as I thought we may be able to get to at first, but then I thought about it, you know, on a split-second decision, like, we're never going to be able to get that way. We don't know who's behind us, if they're going to shoot again, or anything of that nature. So, I don't know, it's like we were, like, telepathically speaking to each other or something. So, Trish actually ran to the middle kiosk to avoid people trampling from behind, and I kind of stood over them, whether she knew it was happening or not. I stood over them, basically, so if anybody was to bump into it, they would have to bump into me, and they're not knocking me down that easily. So, you know, it was kind of an interesting situation, I think, because now we're in the middle of the kiosk, and I finally turn around a little bit to see what's going on, and I realized like we can't stay here because I'm literally in like an open target. I'm just standing there.
In front of, like, behind us to protect
There's
us.
nothing covering us at all.
At all.
So we're like, okay, what do we do? We gotta move. We gotta move. That's all I'm saying. I didn't realize I was saying this out loud. She told me I was saying this. I'm like, we gotta move. We gotta move. We gotta move. We gotta move.
Yeah.
So I was worried about obviously people running past us, trying to get away, and trampling the family basically. And
which people did.
People were trying
people
to
don't
trample.
give a poop about a baby, a kid, a stroller. They don't care. Like they're pushing you out of the way. They don't care who's around them. If it's an old woman, like nothing. Nobody cared.
So basically, me and Trish both look up, and the Van store is literally across from us. So basically, Van was next to Nike, which is next to Marshalls, which is between Marshalls and Tommy Hilfiger. Somewhere there was a shooting. So basically, the manager, we believe at Vans, I'm not sure if he is the manager, but he seemed to be in charge. He was basically telling us, come in, come on, come on, come on. So we literally kind of took a chance.
To the right.
We looked to our right.
And there's like a crowd coming towards us. We have like this much window to make
we
it
had
in there.
one little window to get into that Van store, and we took the opportunity. We booked it. We ran in there. Rose is still in the stroller hanging off. At this point, Rose is hysterically crying. She has no idea what's going on. She just hears people screaming everywhere, people running and stuff like that. And she actually, we suspect, like, she actually peed through a diaper at that moment, which was crazy because she was like that scared, I guess.
Because there was like a family or like a crowd coming towards her and wouldn't let me move. They were like coming diagonally going towards us, and I was just like, we gotta go, come on, move, because we were going towards the aisle van before we went towards the back.
So I'm gonna try to sum up the Van thing as quickly as possible, because I don't know how much we're gonna edit and place this in, because we want to make it as short as possible so you're not bored. But basically, the Van store was, I don't want to totally call it bad because it did save us because it let us come in. But basically, as we walked in the Van store, the second shot rang off, and as soon as that rang off, the manager pulled the gate and no one else was allowed in or out.
And he was like, I'm not mad at him and I can't blame him for reacting in fear the way he did, but it just caused more chaos and it didn't help anybody calm down. But he was basically like screaming at his employees to turn off the music, turn off the lights, but he was so aggressive and like panicking about it.
I'm gonna have to say this, I'll edit the curse out, but basically we went in there and I'm not even gonna talk about how the people were, because the people are people, they're not in charge. But we were moving to the back of the store. We get to the back of the store, and the manager is literally flipping out. He's saying, "Shut the f*** up! Shut the f*** up! Turn the f***ing music off! Do you f***ing hear me? Turn the f***ing music off!" He's literally going nuts.
Yeah.
The reason I'm even saying something about Vans really is not because of the manager. It's more so about the whole staff.
And there was no way to exit. They're like.
Well,
I get it, it's Black Friday.
Don't say there's no way to exit. They basically,
everything was
the
blocked,
Van
though.
store. Hold on, the Van store has its own exit to the street.
Which most stores do.
Most stores do, especially at the mall, because they all have an outside in.
Yeah, for the employees. But to get out of to get to the exit door of Vans, there was no space for anyone to move, even if it was like a calmed line.
Basically,
we couldn't push a stroller.
It was sneaker boxes on the floor of the
everywhere.
Exit. It was
boxes of merch.
It was
like
boxes
shirts,
unopened,
like,
merch, everything. You could not get through, let alone a stroller.
Exit,
You were barely getting through on foot to get out the store.
And granted, it's an emergency.
Right.
But the way they handled it to let people out was like.
I realized that there was 3 or 4 employees in the back of that store that could have let people out, and they were letting people out because the manager was screaming, "Let us out."
Eventually, but he had to literally go off and go crazy for them to start moving, because we were like kind of in the middle of the line, and then we moved up, and then they stopped us again.
Right, and I think part of the problem is the employees inside the store, they had the music bumping so loud, they had no idea that this was a real situation. they were thinking still, oh, this happens. They do fake things here.
They're like, oh,
if you can go on YouTube, you see they do pranks. They do fake kidnapping and shooting pranks at this mall as well, because people know it actually goes down. All right, so basically, the floor of the store was one thing, but the back door exit was clogged with boxes and shirts and anything that could have been possibly on the floor to stop anyone with a stroller, let alone on foot. So basically, there was actually a family in front of us that already was in the exit lane, and while the manager was screaming, "Let them the f out! Let them the f out!" They were panicking like crazy, and they actually just left. They left their kids' jacket,
the socks
were still there, their shoes.
Because it's
they
hard
left
to
the entire stroller there.
Yeah, it's hard to take a baby out of a stroller, and that's what we were scared of, and we had no time to do. So I'm picturing the mother just yanking their kid out, and everything just fell off in panic.
So we ended up just saying, you know what, we're getting Rose out of the stroller. We don't know if we're gonna be able to take it, and honestly,
we still tried.
We still tried, but you know,
I was holding the bag.
Well, all right, I'm gonna say this. This is why I'm disappointed in the van staff. Now, in this particular situation, there's an active shooter in the mall. We really have no idea where he is, who he is. If he even ran in the store with us, which I know he didn't, because when I walked in the store, that's when the second shot rang and it was still in the distance and they closed the door behind me. That's the only reason I know. But she was ahead of me. Other people were ahead of me. They didn't know that.
Right.
Now, mind you, now we're saying, okay, let's get out of here. Let's get out of this mall. Let's go through this back door exit, and we're done with it. We take the long walk around the mall outside. It doesn't
matter how cold it is.
It was freezing outside, whatever. We're just going to get out the mall.
We don't want to be in the mall anymore.
Literally, the van staff stood 3-4 people deep in front of us, telling us, no, everything's good. You can go back into the mall, exit out the main entrance. Because
there was a security guard that told the manager in the front by the gate,
everything was good.
You can just let him out, it's good. But it had not even been like 10 minutes.
Not even close.
Not even 5, honestly. Not even 5.
And just to hear this now, it's now a day later, almost, it was like 18 hours later, and they still haven't caught him. They don't know who he is. They don't know the shooter. As far as I know, this is the only information I'm updated on. We know that someone did get shot.
Yeah, it was real.
It was real.
Because people were saying it wasn't real when we were trying to exit. Well, you should explain how we did try to ask them to leave and they said no.
Well, okay, yeah. We asked the van staff, can you please move? We would like to get out the mall. We would like to get out of your back door, and like the other people were able to get through before us.
Because we don't want to go back inside the mall.
We don't want to go back inside the mall. I heard 2 shots. I'm like, I don't know if it's going to be a third or fourth. I don't know.
And then, you know.
All right, so basically, they pretty much stood 4 people deep and were denying us exit from the store and made us go through the mall. I was kind of in a bad place. So I kind of, one side of me was like, I should go crazy right now and fight. But then I'm like,
we just want to get the fuck
We just want to get out of here. I don't want to have a scene at this moment because there's no time to do that. And so we just kind of went with the flow. I tried to stay close to the crowds of people. And people were running still. People were like asking what happened, because if they were in the store, in the back of the store somewhere and the music's playing, they didn't know what happened. Like, you're not gonna hear it.
You couldn't hear it. And that's how close we were that we heard it. Like,
it was literally 30 feet away from us. At that, I might be exaggerating how far that is, honestly.
Because it might be closer.
It was really close to us.
And that's why we talked about that cell phone charging thing. Because had he turned around and, you know, went back for his phone, if he left it there, we would have been right next to it.
It would have happened just as we were leaving.
That's how close we were.
So,
no, you can't get it.
Basically, because we decided to not use the cell phone charger, we probably cost ourselves, gained ourselves valuable time to get away from the incident.
Yeah, because the man that got shot in the wrist, everybody was there. You couldn't move. I think they were on lockdown, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, of course. So that's the first part of the video. We had a traumatic time, but thank God, you know, we're all safe. Mia Rose is here, and I just want to congratulate Mia Rose. She's featured on a couple of IGs this week.
Yay!
She got asked to be featured by Uniqlo.
Uniqlo, yes.
And what's the other one that featured her that had like 600 likes like right away?
It was Curls or Natural. I'm probably saying that wrong.
But we're gonna put the link to them on their Instagram link in the description. And
everybody go like the picture and say thank you.
everybody like the picture. Definitely tell them thank you for featuring Mia Rose, aka Rosebud.
Hopefully we get featured again.
And I don't even know.
That's the good thing that comes out of the
Follow
shooting.
Mia Rose Jade on Instagram. We'll also put the link in the description below because we really want you guys to follow and keep up with her outfits, her latest fits. You might see this pop up. This outfit here. This
And
is
then
Nike. I like it
think-
especially because it doesn't have the traditional Nike here. It has like the cursive one or squiggly letters.
really cute.
And I know she's fighting me right now, but
I think once we get to 500 followers on her IG, we can finally drop her surprise on YouTube.
ooh, Rose, you heard that?
I think that's a good.
All right, she doesn't want to play with me now. Go ahead. Bye.
Did we already mention what we were doing for us? No, right?
Sort of, but not really. So anyway,
Get her to 500
if we get Rose to 500
followers.
I want to say likes, it's followers. If we get Rose to 500 followers
On IG.
on IG, that's Mia Rose Jade. Again, it's in the description below. Yeah, we'll drop a surprise video with Mia Rose, aka Rosebud. Right, Rose?
We're almost there. We're halfway there.
You guys can see that, but she just looked at me like, what? So, I don't know. Do you have anything else to say after this video? It got kind of long.
If you're going shopping, stay safe.
Definitely stay
Just
safe
online
over
shop.
the whole
Don't
holiday
even go shopping
season.
anymore in the mall. Like, I don't even
No,
want to go
don't
out.
say don't go shopping. Look,
No, don't go shopping in the mall.
just be careful when you go to the Mills, Jersey Garden. We're not trying to totally bash the mall. They have a lot of great stores.
I like that mall.
They have a lot of great things. It used to me, it used to be kind of like down in the pits. It had like an odor in there at one point. Everybody talked about. And they no, it did. It did. They upgraded everything in there. It looks nice. They just gotta get some ways.
And they actually have really good stores.
They have Neiman Marcus there.
They have Century 21, and if you don't know, that's like only in New York.
They have Century 21. They have a Saks Fifth off Fifth, which
Neiman Marcus Last Call.
Neiman Marcus Last Call, which is like a discounted Neiman Marcus.
It's like
stores.
a Marshall. Neiman Marcus is like Marshalls, basically.
Yes.
It's just their clearance room.
Well, anyway, there's some great stores in there, and we hope you do shop there. Vans, the only thing I'll say, I would definitely shop there, but definitely we have to work with Jersey Gardens, the Mills, and
Your
or
evacuating policy,
just
you
kinda
should
figure
just
that
let
out.
people evacuate. Don't stop them.
especially when you got these, they're really young kids doing this job, and they have no clue what they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, thank you to the manager, though, for letting us in, because we could have been stranded in the hallways, and he could have shut that gate on us, but he was like, come on. So, thank you, Vans, for that.
Yeah, so anyway, that's it for this video. Again, don't forget to like this video if you like what you heard here today. Definitely don't forget to subscribe, tell all your friends about it, share this video if you can, and yeah, we'll be back again.
Sooner than you think.
Hopefully.